internet! Or what's left of it. Guys, we need to talk. My friends, it's been a while. It's been, for the last couple of weeks, I've actually had no voice, which meant I could not make any videos, even though Steven said I was going to be making videos to make up for the lack of content. I just couldn't talk. There was no voice whatsoever. I sounded like this at best. Luckily, we had real anime training in the bank. We were able to put that out there, so there wasn't really any loss of content, just not the content we were planning on putting out. That said, we do have another real anime training coming out this Friday, so look forward to that. But guys, we have something far more important to talk about, and it is the infamous Article 13 of the European Union. Now, I want to make sure that we're all on the same page here. If you don't know what Article 13 is, here's the lowdown. Guys, here's why the internet has always been amazing. The internet's been amazing, fantastic, superb, because it was an unregulated Wild West of content creation. So if you wanted to go on YouTube and be a cover artist and make English versions of your favorite anime openings and endings, or heck, maybe you just want to take, classic rock and turn it into, I don't know, techno or whatever, or something like that. It's your taste. You could do that without getting in any trouble. If you wanted to show off your artistic abilities by making paintings based off of video games, you could do that. If you wanted to take anime characters and make workouts based off of the things that we see them do in those animes, you know what? You can do that, and we did. The problem is, Article 13 is trying to put a stop to all of this. All right? And it's not the first time something like this has happened. If you look at the US's history, in the last 10 years, we've had a few times where people tried to do this. Do you remember SOPA or PIPA? These things were all over the internet. Google, Wikipedia, everyone was warning us about these dangerous pieces of US legislation that could have prevented anyone from being able to upload whatever the heck they wanted. Unfortunately, the European Union has decided that it's their turn, and it's called Article 13 or Article 17. I don't know if it was Article 17 and then they changed its name to Article 13, or vice versa, just to confuse people. But right now, everyone's calling it Article 13, so that's what we're going to go with. Article 13 basically says this: if you upload content that you don't own entirely to another platform, that platform is now liable for any legal battles that the copyright owner might want to pursue. So if you put up a workout video, let's say, based off of Baki the Grappler, like we did last week, and that video has some audio-visual content for Baki the Grappler, manga or anime, If that stuff goes up, people who made the Baki anime and people that made the Baki manga, whoever owns the copyright on those pieces of content, can come after me if they want to. They can come after Steven and I. But the reason that they won't is because we don't have any money. Not enough money to justify a legal battle. What would you get out of that? You wouldn't. All right, now, YouTube gives them this option to say, hey, if you want to fight against this piece of content that was put up, you can block it, put a strike on their channel, or you could leave it up and collect ad money off of it. They get those options. We often complain as YouTubers about YouTube's copyright ID system, and that's because it's a very flawed system that pretty much leans towards, giving more control to copyright owners and not actually protecting the content creators over here. But that's a different story. Article 13 puts us all in jeopardy because now the way this thing works is the European Union thought it would be a good idea to let copyright owners sue the platform the content was posted on, even if the platform's not the one that made the content. So in this case, let's say that we put up a Baki workout, that would mean that the people who make and own the copyright to Baki could go after YouTube. And YouTube has a lot more money because YouTube is Google. So that would actually make more sense to go after Google than it would to go after Steven and I. So, what's the problem? Well, you see, content is constantly being uploaded to YouTube all the time. There are so many, countless hours, so many gigabytes of footage to go through that's being uploaded constantly. How on earth are you supposed to keep track of that? And how on earth is Google or YouTube supposed to be able to say, yes, this is fair use, this is not? That's why they have a content ID system in the first place, to kind of play it safe, But if they're playing it safe now, and Article 13 says, nah, that's not enough, and we're going to also start opening up the platform to legal battles, Well, that's a problem. And it's not just YouTube, it's everywhere on the internet. So if you post a meme, like the shocked Pikachu face, guess what? You post that to, let's say, Reddit, and now Reddit could be sued by the people that make the Pokemon anime. Because that's just how it works. Yes, memes are in danger too. Your precious, dank memes. See, the only way that places like YouTube would be able to protect themselves against these kind of legal battles would be to eliminate and block all content that has any semblance of other people's copyrighted images, audio, visuals, even just, text, okay? They'd have to block all of it. So we could put up a Baki training video with absolutely no Baki, but because Baki's in the tags, Baki's in the keywords in the description, because we talk about Baki, it may as well be akin to us publishing a book about Baki without the content creators, copyright producer, what's the word? The copyright owner's permission. So YouTube is now open to, once again, liabilities. Liabilities that they shouldn't be open to. Liabilities that we shouldn't be open to. Listen, I don't like to get like this, all right? But the internet is great. But it's not because of the senior citizens that barely know how to use Facebook. It's because of content creators. Let me get a little high and mighty right here. If you are a content creator, like I am, like Steven is, like anyone on YouTube is, okay, if you are a content creator and you're actually putting work into what you're making, you're the reason the internet is great, because there'd be nothing on here otherwise. Do you know that Wikipedia is in danger because of this? Wikipedia! See, this isn't about protecting copyright owners like they want to pretend. It's about the European government having the power to censor what European citizens are allowed to see online. It's not just about entertainment. I know we've talked about anime and we talked about memes, we talked about cover songs and whatnot. It's not just about entertainment. It's also about information. It's about history, politics, news, current events. If your government can tell you, no, that's blocked because of Article 13, because we want to make sure no one's copyright's being, offended here, well then, congratulations, you've now given your government the power to claim that anything can be blocked. And all they have to say is, oh, well, there is something in here that infringes on someone else's copyright. Oh, really? Whose is it? Oh, we're not going to go into that. We don't have time to. Just going to censor everything. Congratulations, European Union. You have fallen. But it's not too late. See, I could say right here, we've got two things. See, we have two things we can do now. And you might be able to tell, my voice might not be 100% just yet because I can feel it starting to go. We've got two things we can do. One, I can say to you, ladies and gentlemen, it's been an honor serving with you here in the Content Creation Corps. Have a good one. Or, I can say this. Red alert, red alert. This is not a test. This is an emergency. This is war. And you know what? I'm going to go with that last one, and here's why. We're not giving up. If 4chan can find Shia LaBeouf's little flag in the middle of nowhere based only on the airplanes they see flying in the sky behind the dang flag, and if they can do that, we're the whole freaking internet. We are the people of the planet Earth. Europeans, non-Europeans alike, we can fight this. And we're gonna fight it. And we're gonna win because the internet wins. So here's what you need to do. If you're a European, I need you to listen carefully. It's a lot of pressure, but it really isn't gonna be that hard at first. See, the EU is not going to fully be able to implement this for 2 years. So we've got about 2 years to stop this. And we've got a really good opportunity for it coming up in just a couple of months. EU citizens, listen up. May 23rd, 24th, 25th, and 26th. You guys get to vote in new members of Parliament. So it's up to you to go ahead and find out who voted for Article 13. And then you need to vote them out. Find people who will vote to reverse this awful decision and vote them in. If your representative, the people that you get to vote for, voted against Article 13, keep them in and let them know. Write to them. Say, I need you to keep fighting against this. We need to undo this. This is the only election between now and the implementation of Article 13. So you need to make this one count. And then you need to tell them, undo it. Control Z. Command Z if you're a Mac user like me. Undo this awful mistake, because we cannot allow censorship to control our internet. I'm going to be 28 years old this year. The internet is mine. The internet is Steven's. The internet is yours. It doesn't belong to people who don't even know how to use it. So no, we need to stop this, and we need to stop it now. Don't lose hope. We got this. May 23rd through the 26th are the EU Parliament elections. You guys who are European, you need to get out there, you need to vote, and you need to make sure that all of your friends and family do the same. We do not have any time to waste on this, because once it gets up, it's going to be awfully hard to get down, okay? So we're going to do this, and we're going to do it right. Secondly, if you are not European, there's still something you can do. I want you to write to your elected representatives. So America, write to your senators, write to your representatives, write to the freaking president, write to anybody who has any control over the government in this country. Same goes to Canada, same goes to anyone else in the rest of this country. South America, Africa, look, I don't care. If you have freedom of speech, if you have elected officials, write to them, call them. Guys, I'm over here editing the video that you're watching right now, and I just had a realization of what we need to do. If you're not European, the solution, yes, it is to call your elected representative. So if you're in the US or Canada, or if you live in a country in which you elect your representatives to the government, then this is what you need to do. You call them. Not just to say, hey, I don't like this Article 13 thing, and I hope it never happens here. No, what I just did, see, I live in South Carolina, so what I just did was I called Lindsey Graham and I called Tim Scott. And I'm going to call my representative after I finish editing this. And I left a voicemail with them. And I'm going to do this every single weekday for as long as I can. And say, look, not only do I want to see you literally stand up in Congress and take a stand against this and say, I denounce what happened in Europe, and we need to make sure it never happens here. I want to see them produce legislation that will actually safeguard an open, free, uncensored, unregulated internet. I want to see that, because we really cannot rest and pretend that we're safe. We can't pretend the internet is safe if there's not some sort of legislation that says, hey, this is a platform for free speech and no one can get in here. Now, obviously, if there's like someone, like I said before, somebody uploads like a movie, okay, no, that's not free speech. But fair use needs to be protected. And I think the only way we're going to be able to be safe and able to say, okay, we don't have to have our guard up all the time, is if there's actually a law in place that says, hey, the internet, fair use, needs to be protected. Okay, because if there's no law in the book about that, then this could happen here. It could happen in Canada. It could happen anywhere. And if it happens in Europe, people are going to think, oh, hey, maybe it should happen here too. And that's not the case. So, all right, back to the video. All right, EU might be wanting to do this. Make sure the rest of the world knows not to go through with this. Because even if it gets up to the point where EU implements this completely, you know what we could do? We could say, hey, fine EU, you lose pretty much all of the internet. Rather than comply with what you want, we'll just block you from being able to access the sites like YouTube and Wikipedia and social media and whatnot. How would you like that? For the EU to suddenly lose the entire internet, or most of the internet? I think that it would send a strong message that they'd have to undo this, especially if the rest of the world still has it. We need to put an end to this, and we're going to do it together, okay? So please, please share this video. Make sure that everyone understands how big of a deal this is, how important this is, and if you're European, vote May 23rd to the 26th. If you're not European, tell your elected officials that this is garbage and you won't stand for it in your country. Until next time, guys, good luck, train hard, and fight well.